this is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. Today I once more want to talk about the tendering process for the commercial rights of the Indian Super League. The All India Football Federation, with the help of KPMG, have put together a document in regard to the rights, in regard to what all needs to be done. And what has come out is something where it is a 15-year contract. 37.5 crores is the financial commitment of that commercial partner to the National Federation. And then, of course, on top of that, there are other costs like running the league, broadcaster. Are you spending on it? Are you earning revenue on it? The clubs getting their share as well. But what's the real state of the ISL tender? You see a lot of people speculating on social media, a lot of people having opinions. But the reality is that the way that the tender process was enforced on the All India Football Federation by the Supreme Court of India has not really helped Indian football. Was the old system perfect? No, it wasn't. But is the new system that has been proposed the right way to move forward? I honestly have my doubts, and I'll tell you why I have doubts, and it's relatively simple. There are commercial entities who have looked at the document. There are commercial entities who have evaluated the document. But one will realize that once you go through it, that you have maybe more questions than answers to it and say, do I bid for it? Don't I bid for it? I've been approached by 2-3 international sports management entities asking me some basic questions about the document. One actually got into deeper questioning of it, because again, it's the job of sports management companies to look at, evaluate, and think of, hey, do I bid for something? Do I buy the rights and then try to sell it into the market, raise money via sponsors, raise money via television rights, streaming, and other things? What I realize is that with the tender document out there at this moment in time, there are more questions than answers, because a lot of things are very, very vague in the document and not clear in the document. Again, who spends on what? I've said the production, media rights, the organizing of the league. One thing that a lot of people seem to forget is that Reliance spent a lot of money over the last 11 years to organize the Indian Super League in the way they did. That is a huge cost factor. Who takes care of subsidies that have been there in the ISL? Who takes care of referee costs, for example, right? That there are salaries to be paid, there are travel costs to be paid, and there are a lot of other costs involved. And suddenly, it isn't just about 37.5 crores that someone would need to invest to just buy the commercial rights of the Indian Super League. But the question then arises is, what actually is your yearly investment? What do you have to financially recoup to make this even get close to break even? Because the reality has been of Indian football since the National Football League started in 1996, that be it the National Football League, be it the I-League, be it the ISL, none of these leagues have been able to get Indian football into a position that it is profitable for the league and it is profitable for the clubs. That again is the starting and ending of all conversations, the financial conversations in regard to that. Yes, if you can make money on Indian club football, then the whole system wins, because then there is money that will be spent on clubs, it will be spent on infrastructure, it will be spent on youth and grassroots, and it will trickle down the system as well, because then, the money stays within football. Basic questions. And can the All India Football Federation, can KPMG answer those questions? Can we keep ourselves in a realistic timeline that by November 5th, we will have a decision, we will have a minimum of one bid or multiple bids coming in, so that the rights can be awarded, and then we get into the implementation phase. At this moment in time, I'll be very, very realistic, and I've said this 2-3 times on my lives. The league happening rather than not happening looks very, very tough. Let's be honest about it. The 2025-2026 season of the Indian Super League happening at this moment in time looks less likely than likely. That's an honest assessment of mine at this moment in time. The question now is, how can you turn things around in a way that the league can happen? December, to me, looking at this at the end of October, looks totally, totally unrealistic. January, maybe. Even February looks tough. Then what do you do to your scheduling? How do you hold the league? How do you hold the playoffs? A lot of questions remain, and no one seems to be willing or capable of giving answers, and that is the need of the hour. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? You've got something else to say or to add? Write those things down in the comments below. And as always, like, share and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.